You have tried to think your way out of it. You have read the right words. You have said the right things. Nothing shifted. That is not a faith problem. That is a sequencing problem. Your nervous system was still in threat mode when you tried to install the truth, and a body running on alarm cannot receive instruction. It physically cannot. The prefrontal cortex, the region that processes meaning, builds new patterns, and executes change, goes offline when your system detects danger. You were trying to renew your mind while your body was still locked in survival. That is why it did not work. Not because the truth was wrong, because the conditions were wrong. 1 Kings 19 recorded the correct sequence thousands of years before neuroscience had language for it. Elijah did not receive direction in collapse. He received something else first. And what he received before instruction is exactly what your nervous system needs before renewal can begin. The mechanism is called physiological regulation. Before your brain can process, retain, or act on new information, your nervous system must exit threat mode. This is not a philosophical preference, it is a biological requirement. When your sympathetic nervous system activates, elevated heart rate, muscle tension, shallow breathing, your prefrontal cortex reduces function. The region responsible for rational thought, decision-making, and identity formation goes offline. Your body has redirected its resources to survival. In that state, you cannot reason your way into transformation. You cannot think your way into calm. You cannot install truth into a system that is still scanning for danger. The sequence must run in a specific order. Regulation first, renewal second. Reverse that order, and the process breaks down at the point of input, every time, without exception. Scripture does not present this as a spiritual metaphor. Proverbs 27:22 states, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." That is structural language. A destabilized internal state produces measurable physical consequences. The Bible does not separate emotional state from physiological function. It treats them as one system, which means the pathway to mental renewal does not begin in the mind. It begins in the body, and the body can be trained. 1 Kings 19:5 in NIV states, "All at once an angel touched him and said, 'Get up and eat.' No lecture, no correction, no theological instruction. The first intervention is physical contact and food. After Elijah sleeps again, the angel returns with the same instruction: eat, because the journey is too much. Physical stabilization precedes every other form of input. Only after the body is resourced does God speak direction. Romans 12:2 states, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation is the outcome, renewal is the mechanism. But renewal requires capacity. Capacity requires safety, and safety is established in the body before it is established in thought. Psalm 23:1 states, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing." That declaration is not primarily emotional, it is a nervous system signal. Lack nothing means no threat is present. No threat means the system can down-regulate. Down-regulation restores prefrontal access. Prefrontal access enables renewal. Scripture was not waiting for neuroscience to validate this sequence. The sequence was already embedded in the text. Here is what is happening in your nervous system during a stress response. Your amygdala detects a signal it categorizes as threatening, a conversation, a memory, an anticipated outcome. It fires immediately. It does not wait for your prefrontal cortex to assess whether the threat is real. It acts on pattern recognition alone. Cortisol and adrenaline release. Heart rate increases. Breathing shallows. Muscle groups brace. Your body is now in sympathetic dominance. Your nervous system operates in 3 states: safe and social, prefrontal cortex online, clear thinking available, fight or flight, sympathetic system dominant, rational processing reduced, and shutdown, complete collapse, emotional numbness, disconnection. Elijah in the wilderness was in shutdown. The angel did not attempt to move him from collapse to clarity in one step. Sleep came first, then food, then more sleep, then food again. Only after multiple cycles of physical restoration did the system have enough resource to receive instruction. This is the polyvagal sequence embedded in Scripture. Your vagus nerve, the primary pathway of your parasympathetic system, runs from your brainstem through your heart and gut. When it is active, it signals safety to every organ it passes through. Heart rate slows, digestion resumes, the prefrontal cortex comes back online. The fastest way to activate vagal tone is through controlled breathing with an extended exhale. When the exhale is longer than the inhale, your heart rate decreases and your parasympathetic system takes over. This is not a relaxation technique. This is a direct physiological override of sympathetic dominance. Slow vocalization, speaking aloud at a measured pace, produces the same vagal activation, which means speaking Scripture slowly and deliberately is not just a spiritual practice, it is a nervous system intervention. The content of what you speak matters. The pace at which you speak it also matters. Both work together as one regulatory input. The application runs in a fixed sequence, and that sequence does not vary. First, you establish physical posture. Sit upright, place both feet flat on the floor. This posture alone signals postural safety to your nervous system. It is not a bracing position, it is a resting position. Second, you run the breathing protocol. Inhale for 4 seconds through the nose, exhale for 6 seconds through the mouth. The extended exhale is the active mechanism. Repeat this cycle 10 times. That is approximately 2 minutes. Do not rush the count. Do not skip cycles. Third, immediately after the final exhale, speak Psalm 23:1 aloud once at a slow, deliberate pace. That is your complete minimum daily input. It runs 5 minutes. Days 1 through 21, no variation. Same posture, same count, same verse, same sequence. Do not add verses, do not change the breathing count, do not skip days. There is also a midday reset for moments when stress activates outside your morning window. When pressure hits, a conflict, a decision, a sudden anxiety spike, find a seated position, feet flat, run 3 breathing cycles, then speak Psalm 23:1 aloud once. 60 seconds. Your nervous system recognizes the sequence from morning repetitions and down-regulates faster because the pattern is already conditioned. At day 21, run one test. When a stress moment hits during the day, notice how fast your body recovers. If recovery is faster than week 1, the system is adapting. If heart rate returns to baseline faster, the pathway is forming. That is your measurable result. You are not chasing a feeling, you are training a response speed. Elijah did not receive strategy while he was in collapse. He received sleep and food. His body was stabilized before his direction was given. Follow the same sequence. Regulate first, renew second. Romans 12:2 is not a command to try harder. It is a description of a process that runs automatically once the right conditions are established. You establish the conditions, the transformation follows. 5 minutes, every morning, 21 days. The sequence is already proven. Run it.